Hi everyone, my name is Yehuda. I'm a content contributor to YedaCenter. You are welcome to subscribe to our website so that you will be updated each time there is a new podcast. And obviously, you are welcome to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We focus on technology, management, and science topics. So one of the topics that we have been requested to provide some information is spin-off. This is what this video is all about, and let's dive directly into it. So first of all, what is a spin-off? A spin-off is when a company takes a portion of its business and breaks it off or spin it off into a separate company. Following such a spin-off, we end up with two companies. The first is the original company without the business that was spun off, and the second company is the business we spun off. Why do we do spin-offs? So there are three main reasons. The first one is focus, the second one is business valuation, and the third one is in the case we would like to bring external investors to one of the business units or maybe more. Again, those are three reasons. There are others, but we're going to focus on those. So let's dive into the first reason, focus. So focus is the most common reason. A company that has a number of business units that are so different such that the disadvantage of holding them under one umbrella outweighs the advantage. As an example, in case where a business unit is targeting different markets, different customers, and maybe even different products in reference to the company it's part of, then creating a spin-off so that the business unit can be fully focused on its market can make sense. Such a separation allows each business activity to focus on itself alone. So you can see here an example where we have a main company. It has an additional three business units, business unit 1, business unit 3, and business unit 2. By the colors, you can see that business unit 1 and business unit 3, they have a very strong correlation with the mother main company, while business unit 2 is sort of an odd, maybe different business strategy, different market, different product, and therefore it can make sense spinning off business unit 2 and make it a separate company. By establishing a separate company for the separate activity, in this way the new company can be assigned a separate and dedicated management team that will give it its full attention. So we talked about focus, now we are moving to business valuation. Business valuation means that the shareholders can think that spinning off one business unit or maybe more will bring the overall valuation of the separate businesses plus the mother company. It will be worth more compared to one monolithic business that includes the different business units. Now, does this really work? So, it's simpler to follow such process with public companies since we can monitor their valuation. And in general, we can say that it is common for the stock price of the parent company to take an immediate dip following such a spin-off. Assets that now belong to the subsidiary were removed from the parent company's book, which lower its book value. However, the value of the subsidiary shares tend to make up the difference. The sum of the two stock prices typically approximate the parent company pre-spin-off stock price. However, historical spin-offs have been good for investors. On average, both the parent company and the subsidiary outperformed the market during the 24 months period following a spin-off. Now, what happens to the ownership structure? Actually, it's a good opportunity to introduce two types of spin-offs, vertical and horizontal spin-off. In the first case, a vertical spin-off the new formed entity becomes a subsidiary of the mother company it spun out of. So the new formed subsidiary is fully owned by the mother company. The mother company is still owned by the same shareholders. Therefore, no change in ownership structure. In horizontal spin-off, the spun-off company becomes a sister company of the mother company, such that both companies are now owned by the same shareholders. The shareholders in the parent company automatically becomes investors, shareholders of the new formed company, the spin-off company, in the same ratio through a non-tax distribution of new shares. Now, this is a general statement, yet in each country you need to check the specific tax regulation. From this moment, the spun-off entity can invite existing shareholders or new investors to invest additional funds in the new company, and in this manner, the ownership structure will change over time. Of course, it is not mandatory, but in most cases, this is what happened. One question is, when would we do a horizontal spin-off and when a vertical spin-off? So, taking out any discussion related to tax issues, it's mainly about whether there is the desire to keep some type of relationship between the two companies or not. The third reason we mentioned is new investors, and again, we just touched on it when we discussed the different type of spin-offs. So, as we can see, now the structure is such that both in the horizontal spin-off or in the vertical spin-off, it's relatively easy to bring new investors. And yes, in this case, the ownership structure will change. A common question that comes up is, selling a business unit within a company is sufficient motive for a spin-off? And the answer is not really. I will take this opportunity to mention that we have a dedicated podcast at YedaCenter.com on the difference between an asset sale and a stock sale, worth listening to it. Back to the issue, it is possible to sell a business unit or business activity which is not a separate legal entity. In such a case, we are selling an asset, referred to as an asset sale rather than a stock sale. So this was a brief explanation on what is a spin-off, and in the case you're about to go through such a process, good luck.